Hey everyone, welcome back to FTB Infinity Evolved, and your captain has been at work. I've been doing some stuff around the airship, making things look a little bit better and doing a little bit of building here and there. Added a railing support out here on the deck of the SS Bentley. I think it looks very nice. Another added bonus is that mobs don't spawn on top of this. This is actually from Railcraft, the gray metal platform. So I had to make some dye and the metal platforms themselves. A little costly on the iron, but I think it's very, very well worth it. Oh yeah, sweet, the rain's going away. Even better. I've also done a little bit more out on the back side of the airship as well, because, well, I just figured it just cut off too abruptly in the back, so I kind of thought maybe doing a little bit more of an expansion on this side back here, and maybe having it come up, and I don't know, still kind of planning it out, but I want to at least go with something that looks, you know, somewhat nice, and I'm trying to keep the theme going, and the shape, and the design, and everything to try to keep it going as well as I can. But anyways, guys, I also got some other stuff down here I've been working on. Check it out. Hey, yeah. I've been just seeing way too much of that factory brick or block color, and I was just thinking, let's go with something a little bit more neutral. Let's go with gray. This Tyrian block futuristic armor plating, I think it looks pretty nice down here. It just adds a little bit more down here as to being a little bit different than everywhere else. Also down here, I'll probably leave it as is. I don't know, I might try to find something a little bit different, but pretty much that's all I've been working on, and coming up and playing around with design ideas here for different rooms and such, so maybe this can be something, and then obviously we'll have different rooms down here, added in some slopes. Also, I have to say that our nuclear reactor has been doing an amazing job. I cannot praise it enough because we have already cycled 2 times through our nuclear reactor, so I've basically went through and replaced all of my uranium rods, my quad fuel rods that is. So I've basically got 7, and then these 7 as well, so I've already had like 2 full run times, and we should have a plentiful amount of these depleted uranium rods now to have a little bit of fun, which we'll get to soon enough. But today I want to poke around with something a little bit different. Look at this. It's almost 1,600 millibuckets of UU matter. That's awesome. Love it. We're doing so good. I like it. But today I think I'm going to work on something a little different that revolves around this. I think this is actually a big problem. I'm not going to say it is for certain or not, but I think it is kind of bulky as well, having all of these storage drawers just laying around, and even though they do have an immense amount of storage, I think it's time to maybe do a little bit more of an upgrade, and eventually we'll get to applied energistics and have hopefully an even more of an upgrade and compact system to store all of our items. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a little bit more efficient or not, but I think it's actually going to be a little bit more fun in my opinion, because we get to play around with a couple different mods. And what we're going to be doing today is going into a little bit of RF tools for one. That's step 1 at least. So I have been spending, and this is where a large amount of my time's been going, making some, not farms, machine frames. Machine frames that are resonant. Now, we actually have another one, and it's just kind of sitting up here in this chest saying, hey, don't take me, but I'm going to anyway, because these guys are expensive to make, and they kind of take me a little while to make as well, because that's a lot of power. 50 million RF for one of them. Yeah, just one. So this is like, what, 150 million RF just to make these 3? Yeah, it's a little expensive. Power-wise. Item-wise, it's really not that horrible. It's just some Enderium, crushed obsidian. We need, like an Enderium gear, an emerald chipset, which isn't that much, an emerald and a piece of redstone, and then the circuitry, which is pretty much gold and redstone. Yeah, this right here, this intricate circuit board, that's pretty much it, you know. And a dense refined iron plate, which is like 9 pieces of steel and a compressor, so it's really not bad item-wise. but power-wise, it's a little bit heavier. So what I've been using is our generator down here with a lot of oil. I've been trying to mess around with some different setups here. Basically, the problem on this currently is the fact that I don't have enough power going to my... I made another refinery, by the way. I don't have enough power to transfer to both of them at the same time, so I'm thinking about setting up a separate system for a refinery, and then we'll actually just use the diesel generator to power all the lasers and to power all those, and I may end up making even more lasers just because that was a slow process and I want it to go faster. But enough talk. We have ourselves 3 machine frames, and what are we going to do with those? Well, let's take a look at RF tools. Storage. Oops. My keyboard hates me. It really does. We're going to take a look at this guy right here, the modular storage. It's pretty fun. I've kind of played around with it a little bit before already, but I think it'll have a pretty nice little advantage to a few things. Granted that we're also using logistics pipes and some other things that we're going to be touching on very, very soon, hopefully, if we can get to it today. So we're also going to need some nether quartz, so we got plenty of that stuff. How do I have plenty of nether quartz? Oh, I think I was mining in the nether for that and getting like a whole bunch of experience. I think that's what it was. But here we have it, guys. Super easy craft. 3 modular storage units. Now, these little guys, you can place them down just about anywhere, and the nice thing, they do not require power. But opening them up, nothing happens. Nothing goes inside of them because we're missing an item. We actually need to provide for each of them a storage module. So we got 3 different storage modules. We have a tier 1, which holds up to 100 stacks, a tier 2, which holds 200 stacks, and if you can kind of get the picture here, currently tier 3 is going to hold 300 stacks. So it's going to be kind of fun crafting these. We need just a few of them. We're going to need 3 chests. All right, we're going to need some redstone, some more quartz. So let's go ahead and request just a chunk of everything. We're going to need this. We're going to need some gold. Whatever. Just request it all. What else did we need? I already forgot. I can't believe I already forgot. We're going to need a lot of gold, yeah, besides that anyway, because I totally forgot about the other thing. But we're also going to need some more chests. So let's just go ahead and get some of these chests requesting while we're crafting a little bit. So we'll get some gold nuggets. And then if I'm not mistaken, let me go ahead and get a quick peek here one more time with my eye. There we have it. We forgot the iron. The iron goes in the dead center of this thing. All right, so you go up there. This guy goes here-ish. And I want to say redstone on the sides and quartz. I want to say I'm close. Okay. Give me like 10 points for effort, at least. Give me at least 10 points for effort. You know, and this is what I'm hoping to do, guys, because I find this system right here a little intrusive on everything. I like to be able to have any eye up, especially with FTB Infinity having a lot of recipe changes. I like to be able to open it up and take a look at any eye. I don't like to have to hide this and pop this open and stuff like that. I don't know. It does make life a lot easier, but I should be doing that. It really should be, because that is definitely a lot easier. Why have I not been doing this before? Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit harder. This one's definitely going to be a little bit more difficult. We're going to need 6 blocks of gold. We're going to need a few blocks of quartz. But yeah, I'm going to work on this a little bit today, hopefully, and that's what we're going to be getting to. Let's see, block of redstone. We're going to need 3 blocks of this, because I don't want to have to keep switching so much through everything. And this wasn't too bad, but we'll get to more of that in a little bit. So, I'm sorry. I'm distracted. I'm trying to do stuff. I can't help it. So anyways, we have ourselves now 3 modular storage units, each of them capable of holding 300 stacks of basically any item we want to place in there. Now, it's not going to hold a single item. We can place multiples of items. We can also search for items. We got a little search thing here, so we can, torch, whatever. You can right-click to clear it out on that and just click off of it, so the way you don't actually type in something else like I do, and hit E when we actually go into the inventory to escape, and it just puts E there. It takes a little getting used to, but we also have some little other items down here we can click on, like don't show groups. We can sort by name, count, and we also have ways to actually sort them a little bit differently. So we can just click and drag and pull out basically what we want. We can do half stacks. We can group them together. If we don't want to, we can, however we want to do it. So show groups. Don't show groups. I don't get it. I thought that was referring to this. But yeah, we have this on the side. Our modules go over here. But if we take a look at it, this actually retains its inventory. So we can actually pick this up. We can move this and take this and place it in something else, such as a remote storage unit. We can place it in a different modular storage unit. And I think that's going to be pretty cool to kind of poke around with a little bit later on. Now, I would like to consolidate that at some point. I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if there's a way to do that. Oh, yeah, compact equal stacks. There we go. Perfect. I like it. So we're going to play around with a little bit more of this and try to get rid of all of this and place most of it into this. Now, as far as ingots are concerned, I kind of want to do ingots a little bit differently. I kind of want to set those guys up in a compacting drawer. Now, compacting drawers are a little bit more expensive than normal. They're triple compressed cobblestone. And now, mind you, let's actually go ahead and get out our little concealment key here and take a look. This is the different amount of ingots we currently have. Now, I'm not going to be using all of these ingots. Okay, so we stop here. So we can just go ahead and do that. So these are pretty much all the ingots, minus a little bit of stone right there. And now, for granted, we're not going to be for granted. I don't know why brain that work. You're an Enderman. I can't go to the end right now, and Endermen are a rare commodity. Where are you, Enderman? Where are you? He's in there. How do I get in there? We're going in. We're going in. Come here, Enderman. You're a rare commodity, and I want your pearls. Yes. There we go. Now everyone's happy. Okay, so I need those because I can't teleport to the end. I have no idea where it's at. Now, I could use them to go find them, but I think that's just a little bit of waste, especially when it'll get fixed probably soon enough. So anyways, as I was saying and kind of trying to say, that I think we're going to basically stick to some of the main ingots. We're not going to be trying to get blocks and nuggets for some of these other ingots, such as lumium. I don't really think there's going to be too much of a need for that, and yellorium and stuff like that. So some of these we're not going to worry too much about, but things like iron, gold, steel, things like that nature, yeah, I can definitely see that happening. So in order to make this is going to take a bit of crafting. We got some pistons. We're going to make some rolling machines, which is going to require some gears and other stuff, but I'll do that a little bit later. Not right now. What I actually want to work on is how we're going to configure our network up to these modular storage units. I want to go ahead and actually say we probably want to start moving some stuff out of the way. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Okay, that scared me. Don't ask why, but it did. I'm just going to go ahead and start moving some stuff out of the way currently. And we'll just go ahead and plop these guys down. We'll go ahead and open them up so we can actually open them up. We'll kind of allow us to see what's inside of them. So that way once we transfer these guys over, we know what we're actually going to be transferring. Okay, so that is cool. It looks like it actually retains the actual module inside as well. You see what I'm talking about. Takes a little getting used to. So we're going to plop these guys down like so. I think that looks really cool. I like that. I think it's awesome. We're also going to need a few more of our tape things. I don't know exactly where I put them. I could go look in there, but I don't know if they're in a chest where I can actually access the tape things. I assume if they would be anywhere, they would have been in a far right chest or in some place like here. Am I like literally missing them or something? Okay, I could have sworn we had some of those things. Packing tape. Packing tape. Oh, that's easy. I bet that's why I didn't make a whole bunch of it. It's because of paper and sugarcane. All right, so let's go ahead and request a little bit of sugarcane. Thanks to our sugarcane farm, we have been getting a nice, small, steady supply of sugarcane in, and I'm actually hoping to increase that just a little bit more here in the near future. That way, it can actually work with what I plan on doing very, very soon. Now, gelatinous slime. Interesting. Ooh, what about does this actually does this count? Gimme. I don't know if this maybe just works for pistons only. It might work for pistons only. Alright, I have to say, that was a pretty big derp. I actually do have some slime balls. I also have a little bit of gelatinous slime as well. I just totally neglected the thought of even having them set up in here, because I don't ever look at the little icons, because they're always hidden. So hopefully, with this transition to the new system, I won't have to worry about forgetting what's in these containers anymore. So yeah, let's do some more. So I went out, I actually found a witch. I've trapped it in my soul vial here, thanks to Ender.io. We'll get to that in a little bit. Also found a whole bunch of hardened clay in a I want to say it was a type of mesa biome, something like that for biomes of plenty, and I went ahead and just snagged that up so that way it saved me on some resources. We'll go ahead and have that organized for us, and let's go ahead and just say, hey, you go in there, so that way we know where it's at and where it's going to go a little bit later on. So now how do we actually want to, access these inventories? Well, I'm going to go ahead and say, let's pack these two guys up. Let's move them out of the way so we can have a place to actually get into back here. Let's also go ahead and do that and that. Okay, so those are shards. I'm really not going to be worried about those too much. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to be setting up real quick some more MK. Do we not have any? Can I craft these? I can't remember. Well then. Fine. Alright, anyways, we got basic logistics pipes. That's all that matters. Give me some of those, and I think all I gotta do is take some iron and do this. Yeah, it's cheaper with iron chipsets, but yeah, whatever. Alright, so this is basically all I need. I just need a few of them. Alright, we're gonna grab 3 of these guys. We should also have some provider modules. Nowhere to be found in our system. So I'm assuming we don't have any, which kind of makes sense because I think where I left off is wanting to make some more blank modules because I was out of paper, and I believe it's actually like this. Yep, there they are. Let's go ahead and make up a few of these guys real quick. I believe all I need now is some chipsets. If my mind serves me correctly, we'll grab just a few of those. A little bit of lapis on the sides. So, bloop, not there. Don't worry, that one doesn't go there. And then that one. So there we go. That is an extractor module. That is completely wrong and probably need, I want to say maybe gold? Aha, it is gold. I knew it. Yeah, see, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I was trying. There we go. So 4 provider modules. So the cool thing is that they actually do interact with logistics pipes. Pretty awesome. So here we go. We're going to hook them up just like so. And we'll place inside of them, each of them, a provider module. And there we have it. So, do they have anything inside of them yet? No, in fact, they don't. Pretty cool. So, let's go ahead and demonstrate. So, we don't have any slime balls in our system because they're over there. We have these pink slimes, but that doesn't count. Let's go ahead and pull a whole bunch of our slime balls out. We're going to place them in here. Love it. And now we have access yet again to our slime balls. It is wonderful. Let's go ahead and request 10 of them. And that's actually pretty quick. That's not too bad at all. Now, they're not going back because we don't have anything set up saying, hey, you belong here. So I'm thinking either we set them up with polymorphic item sinks or we'll do the mod-based item sinks. I think for some of these down here, I was gonna say, mainly for like these here, we're probably gonna just set them up on polymorphic item sinks. Just because. And there we go. So that little fella should now make his way back to where he's supposed to go. Love it. So I do want a little bit of a different system to actually go ahead and start working with these storage devices here. I don't really want to have to keep using this. So we're going to jump into a little bit of Ender.io. Thanks to Ender.io. There's actually a new block I never really kind of messed with. Don't even know what it's really called, but I've actually seen it being used, especially by others on the server here. It is this right here, the inventory panel. It allows remote access to inventories via remote awareness upgrades in item conduits. Yes, so we're going to be making some item conduits. Uses nutrient distillation for power. Ooh, okay. Let's go ahead and take a look. Do we have any tanks? I don't suppose we don't. Okay, cool. Not really. I was kind of hoping we did have a tank. Do we have an empty one? I think we have an empty one up here. How much is in you? 14. You hold 8. I was kind of hoping for a little bit bigger one. This one has... I kind of want to keep my rocket fuel for the time being, just because the rocket fuel's kind of nice. Yes, I have a hole up there. Allows me to get out a lot easier. I guess we'll just take this little guy and we'll do a little bit of an upgrade. So we're going to use our vat here. Now this is already set up and we're going to go ahead and just pull that out. We should... Okay, I thought we did, but I guess I moved it. So alright, you're coming with me, vat. We're going to find you a new place to call home. And that home is going to be... Whoops. That was a boo-boo. That was a boo-boo. We're going to place our vat right here instead, and we'll get ourselves a flux duct to actually hook that up in just a minute. Now, I got to find a way to drain this somehow. I need like a garbage for liquids. Isn't there one of those? Pretty sure there is. Void fluid pipe thing? Void. Not 2 O's, 1. You weirdo. Void fluid pipe. See, yeah, there is such a thing, and it's not actually too hard to make. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Let's make one of those. All right, we need an inks. I was gonna say, because I know I have those. This is a thing that I actually went out to find earlier. I know I have that one. All right, so that and a little bit of glass. All right. So I know if I don't have something, I know exactly where to look. So the cool thing about these little guys, I wasn't actually planning on doing this, but they actually void fluids. And one of the most common fluids that we always seem to have is water. And I am going to get rid of it because I have an ample supply of it and I don't really need to have more just sitting there. So we're going to do a little upgrade 1-2 here with some Invar. We're just going to go to the, what is this? Is it? Oh, wait, there we go. 32? 32 should be fine. That should get us up and rolling for a little bit. We're going to make ourselves some nutrient distillation. Now, how do we do that? Nutrient distillation is actually made quite a number of different ways. Why am I making nutrient distillation? Did I even explain why I was making nutrient distillation? I am getting ahead of myself. We need to make some nutrient distillation, and that is... Oh, yeah, that's right. That was for the interface thing. Okay, I'm pretty sure it mentioned that. My brain, guys, it's crazy. So, looks to me like we can actually use a couple different variations. I actually did this in the first kind of run-through of FTB Infinity, not the hard mode version that we're on the expert mode, but there's a couple different things we can actually use. We have netherwort, which is one of the items that I actually used, mushrooms, a whole bunch of different heads. We can also use things like beef and things of that nature, and I think what we're going to do this time around is we're actually going to go about using sugarcane. So I'm going to grab me 20 pieces of sugarcane. I'm also going to grab me a crafter here and a crafting pipe. We're going to go ahead and set ourselves up on our logistics pipe system. Now, this is the other nice thing, is that our system is still going to remain intact as far as crafting is concerned. We want to keep this. This is amazing. This is going to allow us to continue doing really good, fun crafting things in the future and still utilize a brand new inventory screen. Now, and we're not going to be able to craft from it, but we'll still be able to utilize it. So, why is that there? I have no clue. We're just going to use this guy because he's open and he says, use me. And that's all we got to do. We just have to teach it how to do sugarcane. Now, I'll probably move this a little bit later just because. But for now, this should be just fine. We'll place this guy up here on this side. So this guy's going to need water. He's going to need some power. And we also need another item on the left side. So I'm actually going to use for this some raw beef, just because I have a whole heap ton of it currently. Now, we also have a lot of rotten flesh as well. But I figured this would work just fine, just to kind of get us up and running. I'm going to let this kind of start doing its thing. It's going to make us some nutrient distillation. Now, I do need to get some power running into that guy, which I think, is it one of these chests here-ish? Sure, that one. We'll go ahead and pop that guy right there. That way we can actually start supplying with power. He can just, do his stuff. All right, so he's outputting and doing everything he likes to do. All right, so we need to get back to our information panel or interface panel, something panel. What is this? What is this thing? Inventory panel. yeah, I was wrong. All right, so we got some dark steel. I think we already have some ready to go. I'm going to request a little bit of that. And while it's making its way, let's go ahead and take a quick peek. We need some pulsating crystals. I think I actually made up some of the stuff for this because I made up some more travel anchors. So we should have some pulsating things laying about. Let's grab 2 of those guys. We're also going to need a fluid tank, which is going to be some glass, iron bars, which I don't have. So we'll just request ourselves a hefty amount of iron. Grab ourselves some bars. And a little bit of glass on the side. Probably a little too much than what we need. And let's just kind of do this thing just because it seemed to work. All right, done. Okay, cool. Just do that. Thank you. All right, so we got those things ready. Pretty much only need 2 more things. So we have this little guy right here, the sentient ender. This guy's going to require us making this ender resonator, and we need to combine it in the soul binder with some type of witch. So this is why I actually grabbed that earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and run through. We already made one of these, I believe, last episode. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of those real quick. As you can see, we got a large amount of... What was that? I heard a ploop. Why did I hear a ploop? I don't know, maybe there was something in my hand. Anyways, I'm going to go make me one of those things. We made that last episode, and then we're also going to need this guy. So I'm going to get me some more electrical steel. In fact, I'll probably get a good amount of that built up real quick, and then we'll go ahead and start finishing up the episode, and hopefully... might have to do a little bit more on this next episode, because there's a little bit more I want to do on this. So we'll probably have to kind of do a little bit of separation on this, and kind of maybe make a little bit here and there. What are you doing? Why are you... Are you not actually filling up? That's fine. It's fine. Okay, whatever. We'll get that handled out in a minute. We'll be back in just a minute. Alright guys, and we're back. Did a little bit of transferring here just to kind of clean up the space. As you can see, we pretty much compressed all of this into this. Now, granted, we start getting more things in, like more gunpowder and more raw beef or more of everything in here, and it's going to start, filling up. But I don't really see these specific items actually filling up, so I feel like a lot of this is just wasted space in that sense, which is why we're converting over to these little guys. Now, we're going to probably be needing quite a few bit more of them, just to kind of help us along. I've also went ahead and made some more electrical steel, and we have ourselves the sentient ender. I'm going to leave that in there just so I know where it's at as well. But I've been making a few other things as well, just to kind of get us hopefully a little bit more wrapped up. And I got ourselves some item ducts. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of that. We also have some more enderium in here. I'm going to grab 2 sets, so 2 little ingots there, and we're going to convert these into warp item ducts. These little guys are going to come in use for us because we're making some item conduits. This is what we're actually going to need with our inventory panel. That's right. Where's my conduit binder? Do I not have any binder in here? I could solve that real quick. So we'll just do this, and we have ourselves access now to item ducts, or not item conduits, not ducts. I am a crazy person. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is how we're going to do this. We're actually going to go ahead and move this, and this out of the way currently. We're going to set this up a little bit better later on, guys, I promise. But for now, just going to do a little quick demonstration of what we're wanting to get accomplished. And then we'll get it all pertified a little bit later on. There we go. So we have basically just about everything we need to craft our inventory panel. Except this guy. We're going to need a remote awareness upgrades. We're actually going to need a few of these. So we're going to need some silicon, which I think I do have a little bit left up here. I'm just going to go ahead and steal that back. Had a little sand pulverizing there for us. And let's go ahead and hide that out of the way. Actually, we need that back. I'm going to need to grab me some pearls. We'll snag 10 of them. Do we have any blaze powder? Just one? Really? Just one? Fine. Okay, where's my glowstone? Give me 10 glowstone. Give me 10 glowstone and my redstone. We're going to come up here. We're going to make some blaze powder. I'm actually going to probably have to start doing this manually anyway. Or not manually, but automatically. I'm telling you guys, I'm like, my head's on backwards tonight or something. I have no clue what's going on. So there we go. We got a little bit of blaze powder right there. It's fine. I'm going to get one more, and I'll just let the rest of that do its thing for now. Let's make our way back downstairs, and we're going to do a little bit of combining here. We're going to combine these two guys together, get our Eyes of Ender, and if I'm not mistaken, these, and these go there. The Eye of Ender go there. The silicon goes there, and I want to say electrical steel. Haha, we have it. So I'm going to make 2 of these. I'm going to go ahead and just start off with 2. Basically, because we're going to need one for the crafting mechanic here. We're going to need our fluid tank there. We're going to need our 2 pulsating crystals. We're going to need our sentient ender. And last but not least, some conduit binder just to put it all together. I thought. Why? Oh, that's dark steel. Okay, fine. You don't use my actual logic. You don't use Bentley logic. That's fine. So there we have it, guys. We have an inventory. There it is. An inventory panel. I'm like, what am I missing? What did I pull out of here that I wasn't supposed to? All right, so how does this little guy work? Well, for one, we're going to need to fuel it. He needs nutrient distillation for power, which we're going to get to him in just a moment. We're going to go ahead and start placing an item conduit right there. We're going to go ahead and go through this in a little bit, and we'll probably go through it a little bit more in detail next episode, but we're going to go ahead and just place these right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this up. I'm going to go ahead and set this side. So you can see hovering over each of these little squares here has its own little bounding box, because we can actually access, even though they're in the same block space, we can actually access different parts of this conduit touching these different inventories, basically. So what we want to do is set like this side to disable, because we do not want them interacting with these other things. We only want them interacting with our modular storage for now. So we're going to go ahead and set this to disable, disabled, disabled, and disabled. So this is also currently hooked up to the back of the inventory panel, which is what we want. We also want to go ahead and click on the one on the back of the inventory panel. We want to, I want to say extract is fine, but on these, I want to say we want to probably, let's go ahead and do some testing. This is actually where we need to place in our remote awareness upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up there. Let's see, inventory panel remote awareness. Hold shift. Function upgrade item for item conduits allows inventory panels attached to this network to see and extract items from this inventory independent of the conduit node. No need to set the conduit to extract. Ah, okay, so that would make sense. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this is set up on this one right here, which is access to all our slime balls. Oh, well, it's not working because we need to get some other stuff running real quick. So we got some hardened fluid ducts. I'm actually going to grab and snag a few of these guys real quick. If we take these, actually we need some servos. We need, I believe, these guys, these hardened servos here. So iron nuggets, please. I need a few. Give me 10. So those guys go there. Can I use fused quartz? Let's find out. A little bit of redstone, and we're going to need some Invar, I think it was. Oh, there it is. So no to that. Ah, there we go. All right, so we got some, what am I missing? Redstone? Ah, redstone. Yeah, I got it. All right, so we're going to take these guys now. Okay, so these guys go here. Hardened fluid ducts, like so. And... no, come on. Usage. So... oh, those are for those. Oh, no. No. Temperate fluid ducts. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at conduits. Because I want to make a fluid conduit. These guys are really, really cool. Okay, it looks like we need the reinforced servos. Okay, that's fine. We'll go ahead and make some reinforced servos. Let's grab our electrum. Need just a couple of those. All right. You, redstone. And I'm assuming we're still going to need some more iron nuggets. So let's go ahead and grab some more of those. Oh, come on. What am I missing? Oh, that goes on the berg. Still missing something. Oh, I'll probably need that. Ah, ha, ha, ha. That is somewhat smart. All right, so anyway, I guess that's it. All right, that's fine. All right, so reinforced servo. Now we can do these guys. I'm telling you, it's just not my night. And we have some ender fluid ducts. Now, these guys are kind of like more of the top tier. These transport fluids the fastest. And the nice thing about them is that they can actually occupy the same space as our item conduits. Pretty awesome stuff. I'm actually going to go ahead and have this guy poke around the front because we're going to just snag this for the time being. And we're just going to poke around with this because next episode we're going to fix this thing up and make it look beautiful. And we're going to also have some other fun stuff with it as well. So if we set this guy to extract, and if we come back here, and I want to say actually if we take our crescent hammer, if we shift left click where we want, is that right? Is it shift left click? Or is it right click? No, right click messed it up. I think that's actually with a Yeta wrench only, so I may be mistaken. It's been a little while since I played with Ender IO, which is cool and not cool at the same time. Because I should be poking around with it a little bit more often than that. But it's okay. All right, where did my... there it is. Bloop. All right, so I guess we're just gonna have to do this the old manual way. So once we open up this inventory, if we take a look on the right side, we can see we have access to our fluid. This is fluids, these are items. We're gonna set this to in and out, extract. Okay, cool. This thing might need to go on top, maybe? Ah, there we go. I guess it should have to go on top to export down the bottom. Makes sense. I was kind of hoping this would just automatically export, but it's probably wise because, yeah, active with signal, that's why. Okay. Duh. So anyways, we have ourselves inside of here our nutrient distillation powering this, and this is our little crafting grid. So we can see we have access to all the items inside of our modular storage. Pretty cool. Nice thing is, we also have access to the exact same items in our logistics system. We also have a nice little return area that we can access down here. We can have it as a little storage area, or we can click here and have it return back into the network. And look at that. We can just place or pull items right out of here, place it right back in. Now, they're not going to go back in because on the back of this, we need to set this to export, extract without signal. All right, now it's going to start extracting those items. It should, as long as this is set to insert. There we have it. And we'll be able to see the items sent back in real time pretty awesome stuff. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for today. This is just a little bit of a taste of what I'm planning. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any helpful tips, tricks, or comments, feel free to put them in the comments section down below. If you guys would rate the video, I'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you guys then. Goodbye.